Hi Libra, welcome to your June 2017 love reading. It's Raina here. So before I begin, I just wanted to announce that if you are single, you might want to check out my separate love reading that I'm going to be doing after I finish these love readings. But please, watch. You never know. I just did a reading for your fellow air sign Aquarius, and I felt like a lot of singles would appreciate that one. So not to say that this can't also speak to you, but I am going to devote a series of love readings specifically for single people. And this was due to some comments I received, and I felt like, yeah, let's see if that has, holds attraction for some people to do that on a regular basis, maybe a monthly basis. And I'm also going to be doing on-demand love readings, maybe in a couple of months, we'll see, that are more about how to attract love to you. So that should be interesting. I've never done on-demand readings. Okay, so let's see. Just trying to get into that zone. Not that it's funny. I don't usually pause and collect my thoughts before I start picking cards. I just felt like the need to do that. So this is a modified Celtic cross spread. If you'd like a personal reading, where I look in my love readings, I look at your natal chart, and that is very personal to you based on your time of birth. Just go to rainamoonastrology.com or click on the link below. And yeah. And I also do the tarot in those readings too. Okay, that. It's funny, I'm being so meditative with you. Okay, so here I go. The overarching theme, I keep changing what I call this, but it's basically the heart of the matter, the Three of Swords. Well, in one of these readings, these are for people that are going through difficult times usually, so this shouldn't be that much of a surprise. But there is this feeling of rejection, perhaps, because of a situation. I am thinking of Taurus. I don't know if any of you are involved with a Taurus person, because I did get a couple of cards where, for instance, the Hierophant is connected to Taurus, and then we have the Two of Pentacles. So the duality in Pentacles can be earth signs. So I don't know if some of you have been dealing with a Taurus, but there might be a thing where there's different possibilities. It can be where you made a choice with somebody and you chose them and they did not leave their partner, and that left you feeling rejected because you felt like betrayed. They created this false belief that they were actually going to move forward in something. And I wonder if that's more common than we know, where one person leaves, where both people are involved with other folks, and they want to be together, or they claim they want to be together, and one person leaves their spouse and the other person chickens out. Or maybe they never intended to do it, and they didn't think you would do it, and you did it and they didn't. One of the things I would say, if that has happened to you, it really is for the best, because you obviously didn't want to be with the person that you are with now, or that you were with. So it's not really a loss. Maybe you can even thank that person for being a catalyst, for getting you out of a situation that you didn't want to, that you weren't interested in being in. And maybe you would have stayed. Maybe you would have. But I will say that Capricorn, that Libra, well, you know, it's funny because Capricorn is a cardinal sign too. You are a cardinal sign. And so you do tend to take action. And I think this is why sometimes Librans' love lives can be kind of full of drama, because they always feel compelled to do something about a particular situation. Sometimes you are better off just letting go of the need to try to make things happen, you know. And sometimes it's important to take action, you know. It all depends. But you may tend to take action more times than not, and as a result, all these things are happening around you. And so there could be some, maybe it's like, I can't help but think that for a lot of you, you're the one that is being mulled over. Is this person really worth it to me? Or should I pick somebody else? So you may be the one on the other end of it, where your partner has been having affairs. And maybe you have forced them to choose and they can't choose. And this is causing you to feel a sense of rejection, because it is. I mean, I could imagine that that would be very upsetting. At the heart of all of this is the Wheel of Fortune. And it's very interesting because this is connected to Jupiter, and you have Jupiter in your sign until sometime in October. Jupiter has been retrograde. So, you know, here you go. On June 9th, Jupiter goes direct. Did any of this stuff happen at the beginning of January? Because that's when Jupiter went retrograde. Maybe this is some kind of a cycle. And now that Jupiter goes direct, you are in alignment again. All right? And so whatever it is, don't worry. Because, you know, you might start to see movement. In the past, we have the Hierophant, which connects to Taurus, but it also connects to marriage itself and social institutions in general. But marriage in this context, also conforming to something. So perhaps, you know, an example of that would be, you're a woman, you get pregnant, and you immediately get married because that's the proper thing to do. But you don't love the person you got married to. And so it never really was a bond, an emotional bond, and that person cheated or you cheated, and you drifted apart because you really weren't together to begin with. So in these kinds of situations, the Hierophant is kind of the way that you used to think, in a more conventional way. And the higher message is represented by the Three of Cups. Well, that's funny because the number 3, sometimes it can indicate, you know, 3 parties involved. And I was laughing because I was thinking of conventional lifestyles, and I was thinking maybe you want a polyamorous relationship and you can admit it to yourself. But, you know, that's a little bit out there in terms of, you know, an interpretation for the average person. This could simply be, as a higher message, that you're involved with somebody who has a drinking problem. And because it's funny, you know, I don't know if the Rider-Waite deck has 3 women in their deck, but it's interesting that they have 3 women here, because it could be a situation of someone who may be a decent person when they're not drinking, but when they drink, they lose their sense of perspective and, I was going to say logic, but that's not what I mean. I mean their responsibilities. I can't think of the word, and what they are supposed to do. So you may be married to somebody who throws all of that out the window when they drink, and they lose their discernment, I guess that might be what I'm thinking of, and maybe they have affairs because of a drinking problem, or just this, that could be a card of somebody who just wants to be, play the field. They don't want to settle down with one person. The other thing too is watch out for being influenced by your friends. And this could be, you could be middle-aged. It's not just somebody in their 20s or teens who would do that. No way. Again, with the, it's very interesting because the Hierophant is like that conformist nature. With Libra, there is a tendency to want other people to approve of you. And this may lead you to doing what other people deem is the right thing to do. It may not be the right thing for you. And the 3 of Cups could be just those people in your life, your social circle, who think that they know what's best for you and are always telling you what to do, or putting their own 2 cents in about your life. And that might have even poisoned the well with a relationship or a marriage. Maybe they didn't approve of your husband, and that contributed to the dynamic. We're not blaming any outside forces, but these things do contribute to them. And they contribute to how you may have acted. Maybe you did not give enough to a particular relationship either. Sometimes we just look at the end result, the infidelity, and we don't see that the person, the other party, was part of that dynamic. Because it could be that you did not love this person that you were with anyway. And for whatever reason, you got involved with them, and now you want out. Or, you know, I feel like with the broken heart, it's like maybe you want to stay with this person, but they want out. Or you feel like you're in an untenable situation with this card. There's probably a lot of confusion going on with you. Maybe a part of you wants to stay there, maybe a part of you doesn't. A part of you is tired of the pain. In the near future, we have the 5 of Wands. This is a card of competition, of asserting yourself. It's a card of, I think this is like speaking your truth. As I said before, as a Libran, you tend to go along to get along, and you may not tell people, including your partner, what it is that you need. You may be very deceptive in that sense, not intentionally, but just because you don't feel comfortable asking for what you need. And I feel like you're going to be much more, there could even be arguments, fighting over something, because you may just have had enough, and you may put your foot down, or you may just be going back and forth in a combative way with your partner. But it might be a good thing overall because you can clear the air. Psychologically, you are like the Queen of Cups, and this is a card of psychic ability. Maybe you're more emotional right now, but definitely more intuitive, and so you sense what's going on beneath the surface, perhaps. And you can tell that something isn't right, And there can be this sense that you even know, like, what's happening. You don't have any proof, but you know that something, a specific thing is happening. The outer influences, the Magician. This is about self-empowerment. So this could be a facet of you, though. You may be seeking out materials that influence you in this way. I definitely would recommend it. Definitely. If you don't know about the law of attraction, if you don't know about, and it doesn't, there's Abraham Hicks is the big one with that. Some people have read The Secret or watched the movie. But anything that gets you into a space where you don't feel like a victim is a good thing, because you may have allowed yourself to be in a situation where you are kind of almost dependent on somebody and their approval, or their choosing you over somebody else. And I think you're going to kind of snap out of that. I wanted to just say really briefly that the Three of Swords can actually be a card of you just quickly cutting off a person. Maybe you have done this. Maybe you will do this in June. And that is something you're dealing with the aftermath of that. It's funny because this card of maybe making a decision, that is more of what a Libra person is like. And maybe there is some back and forth with a particular partner. Maybe you have been separated before and you keep going into this very destructive situation that doesn't seem to ever get solved. You know, maybe they promised that they would quit drinking, and they promised they'd quit womanizing, and they can't. You took them back, and they're doing it again. You could tell. You know that they're doing it, and you're like, why did I take them back? And so you're like, you're finally looking at yourself. You know, you're not looking to the outside world. You're not looking to your friends to tell you what to do with your life. You're finally looking at what you can do to empower yourself. The advice, or what maybe you will end up doing, is the Eight of Cups, which is walking away from that which no longer serves you. Remember, when you're walking away from something, you're walking towards something else. So there's always that sense of a destination in mind. You know, if you're just going away from something, then it can just be escapism, because you have to have a goal in order for it to be truly positive. But not, you know, let's say that you were with somebody who was abusive, God forbid, but, you know, that happens. Just getting away is very important. And you may not have all these grand ideas of what you're going to do, but the goal is to go into a harmonious new beginning. So there is a goal even in that scenario, even if you don't have everything planned out. So I definitely think it's interesting that I picked the Eight of Cups, because it does speak to leaving a difficult situation and leaving it behind, because you realize that emotionally there's nothing there for you. The Outcome, great card, the Strength card. And this is more of an inner strength, you know. This is that ability to weather the storm and to feel as if you are self-empowered, as this card says. And sometimes when you leave a toxic relationship, it's amazing how even, you know, there might be like a little period where everything is very scary because you're so used to that situation. But then it's like immediately you realize, oh my God, you know, what you were in, you know, the type of relationship you were in and how bad it was for you. But you were, you know, you were knee deep in it. So you couldn't fully understand that until you left. And the other thing about the Strength card is it's connected to Leo. So that might be timing issues. Maybe by late July, when there's a new moon in Leo, there's actually going to be 2 new moons in Leo. And interestingly, Leo is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So, you know, that you have a lot of nice energy in that area come late July to late August. And you may find that your dream life is more available to you than it has been in the past, because you were able to get away from a negative situation. So yeah, very cool. Maybe even a Leo person will be featured in your new life. So I hope you enjoyed this, Libra, and I wish you all the best in June. Bye.